What did you feel happened in that second half?
We got beaten everywhere in the second half. 2 points up at half time, and to lose by 40 points is really disappointing. You know, I'm just looking at the numbers. They had 145 more possessions than us, 17 more contested possessions. They took 115 marks. That's not how we want to play. You know, we just didn't have enough guys give us anything today. We had 7 players have less than 10 touches, which is a third of your team. Every player for Fremantle had 10 plus, you know, so just not enough winners on the ground. Maybe not even any winners on the ground today, really. We just got badly beaten in most areas.
As it happened, Brett, your first half was good in front of half-time. I guess things have gone according to plan, even though Dockers had more of the footy, but it just opened right up in the second.
Yeah, it did. The third quarter was 5 goals to 1, and they comprehensively beat us inside the contest, outside of the contest. They started to hit the scoreboard in the third quarter. But even then, I mean, we kicked the first goal of the last quarter. You know, Eddie missed that snap, which would have put us only 2 goals down. But then we lost Yench to a concussion, and we only had two to rotate from. But yeah, they just outworked us, which is disappointing because it was such an important game for us today, and really disappointed for our fans because we were 5-5 and, you know, knocking on the door of the 8. Now this puts us back, you know, back further looking in. So we'll review the game. Lots to work on still. Looking for some consistency, obviously, but beaten in too many areas of the ground today. Areas of the game.
Is the result today a reflection of the gap between you and the top echelon of the teams?
Well, today it is. A 40-point loss to Fremantle's means that we're that far out of the... I mean, Fremantle was 7th going into today. Obviously, they're a very good side. They're difficult to beat here, but a 40-point loss really hurts us. Our form's been up and down, as is well documented, but we feel that we can still match it with the best sides. You know, we took a lead into half-time, missed a couple of opportunities in the last quarter, but they were the better side today, without question. You know, there's no excuses for our team. That we just got beat by a better team today. They were better around the contest, better outside the contest. 134 more uncontested possessions. You can't win when you allow a side to have that many uncontested possessions.
So what does that say about your team? I know the frustrating consistency of the side's been one major issue, but what does that say when they win so much more of the easy ball in the second half?
Well, the work rate was more intense in the second half, without question. Even in the last quarter, with still 10 minutes to go, I felt that Fremantle were working harder than us off the ball. But we still made some really silly mistakes by foot. It's been a constant issue for us. 57% of kicking efficiency tonight. You don't win many games when you kick the ball when, you know, only 1 out of 2 kicks you have hits the target. So we just keep going back to the basics, the fundamentals of training, kicking the ball under pressure, at match intensity at training. But challenging this week because we've got a 6-day break, so we have to use the opportunity coming back from Perth to freshen the boys up, make sure they recover. But we still need to get, you know, a solid training block into them this week.
So where are you at as a football club, as far as this season is concerned?
Well, the season's not over for us, without question. And I just spoke to the players then. There's still plenty of fire left in us. There has to be. We're 5 and 6. We're outside the 8. We're as hungry as ever, and we're disappointed with the result today. But we'll get back to Adelaide. We'll review the game. We'll look forward to our next opponent being North Melbourne on a 6-day break as well. But we'll get home next week and try and make amends for a disappointing second half today.
The 3 tools in attack, having Walker, Podsey, Adley and Jenkins, do you feel that's working for you? Because it didn't look.
It has been working. It has been working, but today we didn't get much out of those 3. You know, they even lost Johnson, their third tall defender, at half-time, and we still couldn't take advantage. But, you know, we know Fremantle's structure. They do roll numbers back. You know, inside 50s were level again today, but we were kicking it mostly to density, but we didn't have players running into space in the second half. First half we did. We got some goals, you know, 30 metres out, a lot of crumbing goals, but unfortunately today our 3 tools didn't have the contribution that they've had in the last month.
Is it back to the drawing board again? Yeah, when you've been up and down.
No, it's not. I mean, we just have to keep reinforcing the principles that we're coaching, and we've got to ensure the effort and the intensity is consistent with our group for 120 minutes. We had too many patches today in the second half where we just went missing and they dominated us. With a young team, you've got to keep teaching them that that we need 120 minutes of concentration, but unfortunately we really let ourselves down today. It's really disappointing for our footy team.
Like the Dockers, North or another team pushing towards the top four, do you use that as a bit of a challenge for your players to test themselves?
Yeah, when we normally play pretty well against Freo. We've got a pretty good record against them, even though we've had some close losses as well. But normally our game style does suit the way that the Dockers play, but today it didn't. You know, I mean, in front at half time, but they were kicking inaccurately for goal. But yeah, second half they were clearly the better side. We play another side next week who's in the top 8, so there's another chance for us, another opportunity to peg one back, hopefully.
And there are a lot of guys who received heavy knocks in the second half that you mentioned Jench. Is there anyone else?
Brody Smith's got a nasty corky, so yeah, he'll be monitored. He kept playing, he played the game out, but yeah, it was a pretty, as always is against Fremantle, very much a contested game.
The Crouchers, Brad and Matt both played well in the SNFL yesterday. Is there a chance you could bring Brad straight back up your AFL side? I
don't think so. My gut feel would be no. I think he missed a significant part of pre-season with an Achilles injury. Then he broke his leg, so his last game in AFL was round 2. So first game back today. I think he needs a couple of games just to get rolling again. Although it's hard to ignore his 31 disposals in the state league yesterday.
How about Matt?
Yeah, Matt will be close. Yeah, he was very good for us early in the season. Started to tire a little bit, gave him a spell, but yeah, good to see him back to some really good footy yesterday.
And Matt Wright late withdrawal with the concussion test. Obviously, Ellis Yeoman came in, didn't get a lot of game time. How did you see what he did anyway? Yeah,
it's disappointing for Matty Wright. He actually suffered that concussion in the Carlton game, but the symptoms didn't present till after last week's game against the Suns. So he failed a concussion test before we jumped on the plane to come over. He still was feeling really good, but obviously with anything relating to concussion and head injuries, we'll certainly take a cautious approach. Matt was disappointed, he wanted to play, but we certainly respect the doctor's decision, and that gave the opportunity to Cam Ellis-Yeoman, who made his debut. Only got a quarter, but you know, found the footy okay, and he's certainly going to be a long-term player for us.
Cameron was a real bright spark there in the first half. What have you made of his progression at the club and coming up to rookie?
Yeah, I really like him. He's a WA boy, and he's been really electric for us. Not a high possession winner, but certainly pressures, tackles, chases. But today, you know, 3 goals, I think, in the first half they all were. He looked really lively. So, once again, another young player who's going to be a long-term successful player for us, I'm sure.
Does he remind you of anyone that you played with in the past at Coast or anything?
Yeah, good question. I'm not sure. He's certainly lively. He certainly presents a lot of headaches for the opposition defence. You know, when he's in the area, you're normally going to get tackled. He's super quick for such a light frame, and hits pretty hard too. He's a really good tackler for us. But yeah, I'm not sure who he reminds me of.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.